Hello and welcome back to some more 4 Against Darkness. We took a short break from this game to play Mini Rogue, which I enjoyed, but even though it was only one video away from this game, I already started to miss it, and I'm really glad we've come back to it now to play it some more. So the last time we played 4 Against Darkness, we bought a treasure map. And we found out that the map leads to a complex of underground caves. So we will be following these instructions here. Generate a random dungeon using the standard 4AD tables and rules. And we're actually going to be using the cavern rules from the expanded edition. I don't think these cavern rules existed when this expansion came out, so it just says to use a standard dungeon. But to me it made a lot more sense to use the cavern rules, since this is supposed to be a complex of underground caves. Do not roll for content in the entrance room. The dungeon ends after D6 plus 3 rooms. Let's determine that right now. 6. So this will be a short dungeon, only 6 rooms. From that point, all unopened doors and passages are considered dead ends. The last room automatically contains a boss monster with double the maximum treasure available and 2 additional life points. I was a bit confused about this double the maximum treasure available thing last time. But after thinking about it some more, I think all it means is that if we get like a gold treasure roll, like say like 3d6 times 10 GP, the maximum treasure just means we assume that we got all 6s. So 3d6 times 10 would mean 18 times 10, so 180. I'm guessing that's what that means. And the boss also has 2 additional life points. If you have twisted dungeons, roll twice on the table there and choose the result that seemed more appropriate. I did that already. We got a modifier called Swarming Critters, which I'll show on the screen now and I'll also read it out. In this dungeon, every time you encounter a group of vermin creatures, increase the number encountered by 1. This is cumulative. Each following encounter with vermin increases by an additional +1. In any case, the maximum number encountered will be double the maximum number of vermin that can be rolled. For example, if the entry says d6 plus 3 rats, you cannot encounter more than 18 rats. All encounters with vermin count for XP purposes in this adventure. But when we use the expanded edition rules, vermin already count as minions, so we can just ignore that. So this dungeon is going to have extra vermin in it. We'll see if we actually even end up rolling that many vermin. It's only 6 rooms, so who knows if we'll actually get a whole lot of vermin encounters, but regardless, that gives us sort of a jumping off point to give our dungeon here a little bit of backstory. And in addition to this, I thought rather than just generating a dungeon and then teleporting to it, I thought it would be much more fun to actually put this dungeon on our hex map. So I rolled a d6 to determine a direction. I ended up choosing this direction. I rolled another d6 to determine how far away it is. I rolled a 5. So right here we have our dungeon, which I have decided to call the Gnawing Depths. It is a cavern dungeon with the Swarming Critters modifier. The Gnawing Depths was a cave system that was inhabited by various cave-dwelling creatures, like Morlocks, goblins, and even some cavemen. It wasn't exactly a peaceful, thriving town or anything, but the creatures generally managed to live amongst each other without murdering each other, until the vermin infestation started to get worse and worse. The increase in the population of the vermin resulted in more disease being spread around, and most of the creatures have since abandoned the cave system, and the ones who remain are generally hostile to any visitors. But there are supposedly still some treasures hidden around in the caves, which is what we're there for. Our treasure map led us to the gnawing depths, and we will be exploring to see if we can't find ourselves some loot. But first, we have to travel to the gnawing depths. It is 5 grid spaces away, and each time we travel onto a grid space, we will roll to determine what kind of tile it is, although we will be mostly sticking to a couple different types of tiles. It can be either plains, water, hills, mountains, a forest, or a structure, like a dungeon. But if we get the mountains or the forest, we're going to re-roll because generally for those 2 biomes you want to use a different book. There are special wilderness books which are used for generating outdoor environments like forests and mountains, and I don't have those books yet. So if we get forests or mountains, we're just going to re-roll until I get those books. And to prepare for the adventure, we've bought some food rations. I bought 10 for each character because we need 5 for the way there and 5 for the way back. Each hex represents a day's worth of travel, and you need 1 ration per day of travel. And I also bought some extra rations as well, just in case we end up getting sidetracked. So let's mark our position with this little red cube that I stole from Mini Rogue. Let's see what our first hex is going to be. We roll a d6 to see what kind of tile it is. We rolled a 4, and a 1 through 4 is just a standard plane. And I'll mark the plane with some grass like that. Now we roll a d6 to see if we get a combat encounter. We rolled a 4, so we do not. So, we travel. We use 1 day's worth of rations. And we'll just write travel on our town sheet. So, let's roll our next tile. Roll a 3, so more plains. And do we get an encounter? No. So we move again. Another day of travel. Now the next tile. Again, more plains. And do we get an encounter? No. So far, a pretty uneventful trip. And our last tile to generate before the dungeon. And this time, we do get a special tile. So if we roll a 1, it is a body of water. If we roll a 3, it is a hilly tile. If we roll a 5 or a 6, it is a special structure. And if we roll a 2 or a 4, we will re-roll. And we got a 4, this would be a forest, but since I don't have the forest book, we're just going to re-roll. And it's 6, so it is a special structure. So there's some kind of structure nearby this dungeon. Now whatever it is, we're not going to go in it right now. Maybe we'll visit it later. But just to see what it is, I'm going to roll this d4. If it's a 1, it's a regular dungeon. If it's a 2, it is a cavern, so maybe a adjacent cave system. If it is a 3, it's a fungal grove. And if it's a 4, I don't know what I'm going to do if I get a 4. I haven't decided yet. let's just roll and see. And I got a 3. So it is a fungal grove. So let's put a little skull symbol to indicate that it is a dungeon. And I'm just going to say FG for now. We'll give it a proper name if we ever decide to explore it, but I think we're going to go around it. So, just say FG Fungal Grove. But we're not going to explore the Fungal Grove right now. Did I forget to mark down a day of travel? I think I did. So that was 1 day, 2 days, and then 3 days. So 9 travel, and we use a ration. And we're going to have to use a few extra rations because we need to go around the Fungal Grove. Actually, thinking about it now, maybe we should go through the Fungal Grove. I mean, are we really gonna go around it, and then go around it again on the way back? And just, like, when are we ever gonna come back here, right? If we don't explore this now, we're probably never gonna do it. So I guess that throws an interesting... That's the fun thing about solo role-playing games where things are decided by randomness. I had no idea there was going to be a fungal grove on the way to the gnawing depths, but I guess there is. So, let me go get the fungal grove stuff. Sorry, I've been saying fungal grove, but they're called fungal grottos. But I've got the fungal grotto enemies here and the fungal grotto events. Let's move this map off to the side for now. So, usually I do this part off screen, but I was not expecting an extra dungeon today. You can see this paper I already have labeled as the gnawing depths. But now we're going to get a fungal grotto. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And now we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. And we could roll on Twisted Dungeons if we wanted to add a modifier to this, but I don't want this fungal grotto to be, like, too big of an excursion. So I think the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to start us over here on this left side, and to get to the other side of the grotto, we have to make it to the right side of the page. I'm just kind of making this up as I go. There's no rules for anything like this, as far as I'm aware, in the books. But that just seems to make sense to me. And the more I look into solo role-playing, the more I start to see people saying that it's kind of all about just making it up as you go along. And that seems to make sense to me, so I don't really feel like coming up with a fancy name for this one, so we're just gonna say Fungal Grotto. Now the only thing is that the shape of the dungeon might not end up working out in such a way where we can make it from left to right. So if that ends up happening, I might also end up fudging the dungeon tiles so that we can get from one side to another. We'll see what happens. let's get all our stuff ready. So let's roll our entrance. We roll a 4, so this one. And we're coming out of the left and going to the right. And I guess there are some things I should read first before we start the fungal grotto. This right here. Fungal grottos are slippery. All PCs except rangers, rogues, acrobats, halflings, and mushroom monks have -1 on their defense rolls when fleeing. Fungal grotto tiles do not have doors. A door on the tile is just a large mushroom that blocks the way. Level 1 for bashing purposes. Fungal grottos have their own tables for special events, foes, and traps, and we've already got that. So just remember that when we flee, everyone except Rain gets -1 on their defense rolls, and there are no doors. So the treasure map said the cave system does not roll for content in the first tile, but this is not that. This is something totally different. So we are going to roll for content in the first tile. And we roll a 9. This tile is empty and may be searched. So let's roll for a search. You roll a 1. Wandering monsters. Alright. So let's see what we get for wandering monsters. First we have to roll on this table here. It is a minion encounter. Wandering minions. Let's see. Toadstool Knights. D6 Toadstool Knights. That'll be 1. Just 1. Okay. As soon as we walk in the fungal grotto, we get ambushed by a Toadstool Knight. Immune to poison, +1 morale, HCL +4, standard treasure. These fungus warriors wield shield-like caps made of dried fungi. The first hit against each Toadstool Knight breaks its shield, but the Toadstool Knight survives. Casting a warp wood spell will destroy all wooden caps. So, we have to hit him twice. Oh, and before we start combat, this is actually going to make this encounter harder. But something I forgot in the last video was that we killed a final boss, so we actually got 2 XP rolls, and I only did 1. So let's roll our extra XP roll now. We're going to give it to Tanyth. So if Tanyth rolls a 4 or higher, he levels up to level 4. And he does. Alright. This is actually going to make this harder because now our highest character level is 4. So this Toadstool Knight is actually going to be level 8. And that's going to make his attack +4. So we've got the Toadstool Knight level 8. Just one of them. But we have to hit him twice. And he gets to attack first because it was a wandering monster encounter. So I think he's going to attack Rayan. Rayan rolls a 4, plus 3 is 7, not enough to defend. Rayan loses 1 HP. And these guys don't have poison or anything, right? No. Okay. Now, let's have Lormac attack. Rolls a 4, plus 5 is 9. Lormac deals 1 damage, but all he does is take out the shield. So I just mark it with a dot. Now we just need to hit him again. Rayan goes, rolls a 2. Not enough. I forgot to do this. Now it's Tanyth's turn. Tanyth rolls a 3, plus 4. Not enough. And Kera rolls a 1. Not enough. The Toadstool Knight gets to attack again. Let's have him attack Lormac. Lormac fails to defend, but because he has the Tough as Stone trait, he does not take damage. If he gets hit again, then he takes damage. So let's have our characters attack again, starting with Lormac. Rolls a 1. So that is a miss. Rayan's turn. She rolls a 4. Not enough. Next is Tanyth. Tanyth rolls a 6, which is enough. It explodes. We could roll again, but there's no point. The enemy is dead. So we defeat the Toadstool Knight. We get 1/10 of an XP roll. And we get standard treasure. We roll a 5. Fungal Grotto, choose a gem worth 2d6 times 10 GP or 3 rolls on the rare mushroom table. I think we're going to go with the GP. So let's see what we get. 6 times 10 is 60. A 60 GP gem. And since I'm feeling lazy, we're just going to give it to Kera because she's on top. Alright. Let's go this way. So we roll a new tile. We get 1/1, and it's this little hallway right here. With a door here and a door here. And remember, doors are just mushrooms we can cut through. Let's roll for content. If it is a corridor, it is empty and may be searched. Okay, let's search again. Hopefully it's not another wandering monster encounter. It's not. The tile has nothing. So let's cut down this here. We'll have Lormac do it. It is a level 1 bash, so he just has to roll not a 1. And of course he fails at the bash. So Lormac goes to cut down the mushroom. His axe gets stuck in it. And then wandering monsters show up as he's trying to pull his axe out of the mushroom. And let's see what wandering monsters we get. It is a weird monster. Okay. So, let's see what weird monster we get. A Spore Phantom. HCL +3 undead weird monster. Tier +3 life. 2 attacks. Treasure +1. Never tests morale. This undead mushroom spirit is immune to sleep and poison. It takes 2 damage from a vial of holy water. PCs hit by the Phantom must save versus level 3 magic or lose 1 life at the end of the turn as spores rot their lungs. Druids attack Spore Phantoms at plus L. We don't have a druid, so 2 is Spore Phantom. So it's HCL plus 3, so this is level 7, actually easier than the Toadstool Knight, but we have to hit him 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the Spore Phantom attacks first. It's going to attack Lormac. Lormac rolls a 4, plus 2 is 6, not enough to defend. So Lormac gets hit, but doesn't take damage thanks to his trait, but he does have to save versus level 3 magic, or he loses 1 life at the end of the turn. And he does save, so he does not take any damage this turn. Alright, let's have the rest of our party go. I'm not going to have Tanyth use any of his magic. This monster honestly does not seem that difficult. I think most of us can handle a level 7 monster at this point, especially since it's an undead monster, which means Kera gets plus 3. So she gets plus 1 from her hammer, plus 3 more. So she gets plus 4 total. Pretty good. Oh, and I just realized I forgot to update Ryan's attack to 0. So regarding the the magical knuckle, there was a little bit of a discussion about it in the comments of the last video. Someone pointed out that a light crushing weapon would pretty much just be like a club or a cudgel or something. And for some reason I went with a knuckle. So that was kind of strange. The reason why I did that was just because I always saw like a club or a cudgel as like a very utilitarian weapon, so having an enchanted one didn't seem to make much sense to me, so I went with like a enchanted gauntlet that you would use to like fight with your fists. But on second thought, there's nothing really wrong with an enchanted cudgel. Like, I don't know why I thought that was so strange. You could definitely have that. So I mentioned that if people think the knuckle's too silly, we can just go with a club or something, but I actually got some comments saying they actually like the idea of the knuckle. So we're gonna stick with the knuckle. Even if it is a little bit silly, you can just imagine our girl Ryan punching dudes with a awesome, like, magical gauntlet. I think that's fun to imagine, so anyways, let's attack the Spore Phantom. Starting with Lormac. Rolls a 3. That's enough to deal 1 damage. Next up is Ran with her gauntlet. She takes a swing. Rolls a 6. There you go. And a 4. That's 10. Deals 1 damage. Good punch, Ran. Socks the Spore Phantom right in the face. Tanyth's turn. Another 6. Plus 2 is 8. Plus 4 is 12. So that's another 1 damage. Now it says, never tests morale, so it won't run away. But when a minor foe goes under half health, it loses 1 level. So the Spore Phantom goes down to level 6. And now is Kera just gonna sweep it up? She does. Rolls a 4, plus 4 is 8. And we made short work of that Spore Phantom. We get treasure plus 1 and an XP roll. Pretty good deal. Let's give the XP roll to Kera again, because if she gets to level 4, then she gets plus 2 against regular monsters, which would be nice. And she does. She rolls a 4. She levels up to 4. We're getting nice luck on these XP rolls. And that brings her attack to plus 3. And now let's get our treasure roll. Actually, before I forget, let's update Kara's character sheet. And I should update Tanyth's as well. By the way, I also received another comment asking about characterization for our party. And I have been thinking about it. I am trying to kind of come up with personalities for our whole party, what they might be like. And I have some ideas, but I don't want to put anything in stone until I've really decided. So I'm going to leave their characterization still a bit of a mystery for now. But once I've come up with a bit of some backstory and personality traits for the characters, I will reveal it. I'm just still undecided on those things. And I don't want to rush it because that's kind of important. But again, I'm no writer or storyteller, so don't have too high expectations in that regard. The characters are probably going to be pretty simple and not particularly original. Just a few simple character traits for each character, probably. And then we'll just sort of naturally let it evolve. We'll plant those seeds, and then as we go through our adventures, hopefully, it'll sort of flesh itself out. Hopefully, the magic of the dice rolls will help us fill in some of those gaps naturally as we go on our adventures. I forgot to cross these out. Toadstool Knight and the Spore Phantom have been defeated. Let's not forget to roll our treasure. Treasure +1. Roll a 1 +1. 2d6 food rations or 1 roll on the rare mushroom table. Let's go with the rare mushroom and see what we get. There's the rare item table, the special events table. There is the rare mushroom table. Let's see what we get. 2. Puffball Smoke Bomb. 1 use, resale value 5 GP. You may drop this mushroom as a free action. You do not need a free hand to do so. This allows the party to flee a combat encounter without receiving any attacks. Mushroom and artificial foes are unaffected and attack normally. This is going to be extremely useful. And I suppose it doesn't really matter who we give it to. Puffball. Smoke Bomb. I am glad we chose the rare mushroom table. I have a feeling this is going to save our lives someday. Or save somebody's life. At least one person. Okay. Lormac, so far, pretty bad luck with bashing down doors. He can't even cut down a mushroom, apparently. He's gonna take another swing at it. He actually cuts it down this time. And let's see what is on the other side of that mushroom. 4, 4. This room shape right here. And I'm just going to conveniently draw the room in a way that pushes us towards this side of the map. So. is a 6, a vermin encounter. Roll on the vermin table. Okay. Four Myconats, HCl, vermin, maximum level 4. No treasure. They distract PCs, giving -1 to all spell casting rolls and ranged attacks. A fireball spell will kill all the Myconats. And I think we're just going to do that, honestly. Well, let's see how many there are. 3d6. How many Myconats? Barely any. Never mind. We're not going to use the fireball spell. This should be nothing. 4 Myconats. Level 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm guessing we're just going to end this in one turn, and then it's free XP. So let's start with Lormac. 3 plus 5 is 8. He takes out 2. All he rolled was a 3, and he takes out 2 of them. Easy stuff. Next is Rayan. She gets +3 because we outnumber the enemy. 5 plus 3 is 8. Rayan takes out the last of the Myconats. She crushes them in her gauntlet. We get 1/10 of an XP roll. And we get no treasure, but that's fine. So Lormac gonna cut down the door again, or the mushroom. Rolls a 5. He actually cuts it down this time. Okay, let's see what tile we get. 5, 6. Okay, we're getting pretty close. We'll have this door be this right here. So it goes up 2 and down 2. And then it goes across 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then up 3. And then across 2. Like that. Okay. And this is a door, but we're not going to bother with that probably. We're just trying to make our way to the other side. So this is 4 right here. And let's see what is in this room. Ooh, it is a dragon slayer. I thought we were gonna get through this fungal grotto nice and easy. Not so, unfortunately. I don't think I've ever fought the fungal dragon, even in my personal sessions, off camera. Fungal dragon HCl +5 boss, that's level 9. Tier +3 life, 4 life, 4 attacks, treasure +2. Each turn, roll d6. On 1 to 2, instead of attacking, it exhales a spore breath. All PCs must save versus level 5 to poison or lose 1 life. All PCs add +half health to the save. Halflings reroll failed saves. Immune to sleep and poison. Seems to be pretty much the same as the young dragon, honestly. Okay. except it's a poison save. But none of our characters have any resistance to poison anyways. Level 9. 4 life. We could choose to go for a reaction instead of fighting it. If we roll a 1 through 3, we get a quest. I don't think we want to do that. We're already on a different quest. I don't think we want to start another quest. I think we're just going to fight this dragon. Well, if we roll 1 to 3 for the quest, then that means the dragon's not hostile. We could just ignore him. No, but I do want to fight the dragon. Treasure +2. And we get an XP roll. I think it's worth it. Hopefully. Hopefully I don't regret that. Okay. So, let's start our first turn, starting with Lormac. The question is, do I have Tanyth use a spell here? We still have a whole other dungeon to do. So I don't know if we want to have Tanyth use a spell or if we want to save those for the other dungeon. Because that's the thing I realized, is that we're basically going to have to do 2 dungeons before we go back to a town. They're short dungeons, but still. So we got to conserve our resources carefully here. For now, we're going to have Tanyth not use his dungeon. We are going to have him open up with his magical bow, though. So Tanyth is going to fire an arrow from his magical bow, which means he gets +1. He gets 5 + 4 is 9. He didn't even need the +1, but he does get a hit off, so that's good. Now let's have everyone else go. Lormac rolls a 3 + 5 is 8. That's not enough. It's close, but not enough. Rayan, 2, not enough. And Kera, 2, not enough. So only Tanyth managed to get a hit in. Let's see what the dragon does. Rolls a 3, so it is going to attack normally. So it attacks everyone. It has 4 attacks, so everyone rolls for defense. Okay, someone rolled a 6. Lormac fails to defend. His trait keeps him from taking damage on the first turn. Rayan rolls a 3, not enough to defend. She takes 1 damage. Tanyth rolls a 6. He needs to roll a 3 or higher to successfully defend. And he doesn't, so he still manages to get hit, even though he rolled a 6. And Kera rolled a 4, so she takes a hit. Okay, turn 2. Hoping to see 2 hits here. That would be nice. 4 + 5. Lormac does score a hit. Next is Rayan. She rolls a 3, not enough. Tanyth's turn. Rolls a 1, that's a miss. And Kera needs a 6. Doesn't get one, rolls a 5. Okay, so that's 1 hit. Let's see what the dragon does. Rolls a 3, so it's going to attack normally once again. Everyone rolls for defense. And everyone fails. So I'm just going to take their life away. I'm not even going to bother. Alright. Let's hopefully get one more hit in on this turn. Lormac goes. Rolls a 6. So that explodes. Let's see what he rolls again. Another 6, that's 12. And 3. So that's 15 plus 5 is 20. Lormac takes out the dragon. How many dragons has Lormac taken out at this point? He's just a beast. So, we get treasure plus 2 and an XP roll. Let's do the XP roll now. We'll give it to Lormac. Lormac has to roll a 4 or higher to level up. Rolls a 6. We're getting so lucky on the XP rolls. We've had 3 characters level up in just this video. That's crazy. So, his attack goes up to plus 6. Man, Lormac is strong. Lormac is very powerful. I just realized I never paid for goblin repellent again, but I don't think there are any goblins in any of the dungeons we're going into. So I was just thinking about how annoyed I would be if we got our magical stuff stolen because I forgot to buy goblin repellent. But there are no gremlins. I meant gremlins. But there are no gremlins in the fungal grottos or the caverns, so I think we're okay. At this rate, we might only be a few videos away from getting our characters up to the expert tier. Expert tier is level 5. You have to get to level 5 and then you have to get another XP roll on everyone. And then you can upgrade everyone to the expert tier. And when you're on expert tier, you use D8s instead of D6s. So that's a pretty exciting change. We'll see how long it takes us to get there. I was expecting it was going to take many more videos, but we're just getting all our XP rolls. So. Anyways, let's not forget our treasure roll. Treasure plus 2. 2 plus 2. Choose a gem worth 2d6 times 5 GP or 2 rolls on the rare mushroom table. I think we're going to take the money this time. Yeah, let's take the money. We are pretty low on cash, so 7 times 5, that's a 35 GP jewel. Alright. And now this is probably going to be the last room in our fungal grotto. Oh wait, we have to cut down the mushroom first. Come on, Lormac. Okay. He successfully cuts down the mushroom. And now we roll our last room. 5, 5. It is this right here. And so it is going to be a corridor leading out of the fungal grotto. But we do still have to roll for content in this room before we leave. And it is 9. It is empty and may be searched. Let's search. And 1, it's wandering monsters. Uh-oh. Am I about to regret that? Let's see what kind of wandering monster it is. It's vermin. Okay. It's just vermin. No big deal. Hopefully. What kind of vermin? Spore mites. 2d6 spore mites. 7 spore mites. HCL Animal Vermin, max level 3, no treasure. PC's hit, must save versus level 2 poison, or suffer coughing fits, -1 to attack rolls, non-cumulative, till the end of the encounter. This should be pretty easy. They do get to attack first, though, but they're only level 3, so hopefully it's not a big deal. So, oops, let's cross out the fungal dragon. Okay, so they do all get to go first, which is a little scary, but... Oh wait, no, it's a corridor. Okay, corridor rules. Only our back 2 characters get attacked. Only 2 of them get to attack at a time. Lormac and Rayan must fight in range. Rayan can't fight in range because she carries a lantern, so Rayan has to sit out of this fight. So, 2 of the Spore Mites attack Tanyth and Kera. Well, let's first level 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Tanyth and Kera both successfully defend, taking no damage. Alright. Now, Lormac attacks with a bow. Takes out 1. Now, Tanyth and Kera attack at close range. I should have done that one at a time, but oh well. So, Tanyth rolls a 5, plus 4 is 9. Tanyth takes out 3 of the Spore Mites. That puts them at under half. So they roll for morale. So if they roll 1 through 3, the rest of them run away. And they do. So the rest of the Spore Mite... Actually, do wandering monsters roll for morale? I think they do. Yeah, I think they have normal morale. So these Spore Mites get scared off. And they run away. We get 1/10 of an XP roll. And that's it. So we exit out this side of the fungal grotto, and we emerge on the other side. So we go from here to here. So that ended up being a fun little sidetrack. We had to fight our way through a fungal grotto to get to the dungeon we were trying to get to, which was the Gnawing Depths, where the treasure map led us. So, 10 fungal grotto. And we'll take a ration, and I'll update everyone's rations. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it's going to be one more ration to go to the depths, so in the end, it's going to be 4 rations for everybody used. And I think we are going to save the Gnawing Depths for next time. So I mentioned at the beginning of this series that I'm pretty new to tabletop RPGs. I've never played one before for Against Darkness, but this video I think really has me understanding why tabletop RPGs are so fun, sort of that improvised aspect. I was just expecting to travel to the Gnawing Depths and play that dungeon, find our treasure, and then go home. Instead, we ended up playing a totally different dungeon today. I genuinely had no idea that was going to happen before I started recording this video. But it was fun, and I hope you all enjoyed Against Darkness, we will be entering the gnawing depths, looking for our treasure in the caverns. So, if you enjoyed this video and you aren't already subscribed, consider doing so you'll see the next video as soon as it comes out. We also do lots of other stuff on this channel. I play solitaire card games. We're also doing a playthrough of the computer game Myst. I'm really enjoying all the stuff I'm doing on my channel right now. It's been so much fun. And the fact that I'm able to share it with all of you just makes it so much better. So thank you all so much for watching these videos. It's been so much fun reading all your comments and things like that. As much as I enjoyed Mini Rogue, I'm so glad we're back to playing this. I had such a good time tonight. So yeah, I'll see you again in about a week when we will explore the gnawing depths. Until then, have a good night and sleep well.